move into, now I'm skipping, I think it's 5.4. So the test will cover 5.1, 5.2, 5.3, and 5.5. Now, what?
Not 5.4.
I'm skipping it.
Oh.
So that means you do not have to do the homework. So when you see 5.4 homework, what do? You skip it. No, you don't. You call me and email me and ask me if you have to do 5.4 homework even after I told you we're going to skip it and I'm not going to cover it. Okay? Yeah. That's what everybody does. All right. So what am I going to do first? I'm going to go ahead and start the slide and cover, and this is where a lot of students start getting confused. So you might want to write this stuff down. Now, when we're talking about counting, we're talking about not counting like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but we're talking about numbers in their natural sequence. When I say numbers in their natural sequence, that means exponents as well as factorial. All right, factorial, we'll get to that in just a minute. But the multiplication rule of counting, if I tell you that you've got 2 appetizers you can choose from, and then you have 4 entrees you can choose from, and 2 desserts you can choose from, then how many different combinations have you got? Well, you multiply 2 times 4 times 2. Okay? That's called the multiplicative rule of counting. All right? I'm not going to ask you that on a test, but you might get a homework question about it. And it's usually they ask you questions about food or about the different, arrangements of the plates or whatever. So I'll just go ahead and show you an example. Here's one. Restaurant provides the following choices: appetizer, soup or salad, entree, baked chicken, broiled beef patty, baby beef liver. Beef liver is nasty. Okay? There's 2 things I have not been able to do my whole life. One is learn how to either smoke a cigar, a cigarette, or a pipe. I can't do that. Okay? The second thing I've never been able to do is eat beef liver. Now, I can eat some fried chicken livers, but beef liver I cannot eat. I don't care how you fry it, broil it. I can't eat it. Okay? So that's nasty. Or roast beef. All right? So now 2 desserts, ice cream or cheesecake. Cheesecake's my favorite, but that's just me. But how do you figure out how many meals can be ordered? Well, that would be 2 times 4 times 2. So 2 times 4 is what? 8. 8 times 2 is 16. So there's 16 different meals that can be ordered here. Does everybody get that? Now make sure you make a note of this question, because it could be on a standardized test or it could be in your homework. I will not test you on a question like this. Okay? I'll test you on the factorial questions, which is what we're going to spend most of our time on today. Okay? There it is. 2 times 4 times 2 is 16. What is factorial? Now, I'm going to give you the Hubertism definition. The Hubertism definition is multiplying numbers in their natural sequence down to 1. Why don't you go to 0? Because when you multiply by 0, everything cancels out. So the 100 factorial would be 0. What would 200 factorial be? 0. So there's no sense in having it. So it's down to 1. Okay? Now, the only thing you need to remember is with 0 factorial is 1. Don't ask. Just write it down. And 1 factorial is 1. Now, what is factorial? It is the multiplying numbers, and I'll write it on the board, multiplying numbers in their natural sequence down to 1. Multiplying numbers in their natural sequence down to 1. And a lot of people say, well, that's not difficult. And most people get these questions right on the test. Well, what do they get wrong? They get the combinations and the permutations wrong. Okay? So, if I ask you what 5 factorial is, you say it's 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Which is 5 times 4 is 20, 20 times 3 is 66 times 2 is 120. Now, the pattern is, if you do 6 factorial, then it's 6 times 5 factorial, which is 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Well, what is 5 times 3 times 2 times 1? 120. So what's 6 times 120? 720, I think. Check me. Okay? Now you can do these in your calculator. Get your calculator out. And we'll do this in red. In the calculator, you're going to type in 6, and then you're going to type in MAT, and then you're going to say probability, arrow over to probability. I'm going to draw an arrow, hit the right arrow where it says probability, and then down, I think you go down to the factorial. Somebody give me the number of the factorial.
4.
Is it number 4? And then hit enter. And somebody tell me what you get. You should get 720. So make sure you know how to use that calculator to find factorial, because you're also going to find the combination and the permutation. You have an iPhone. Where'd you get that? Off of what?
It's an app.
Did you have to pay $4.99 for it? What app is it? Can I ask you?
Calculator X.
Calculator X. So if you got an iPhone and it's called, go to the apps, you can pull up Calculator X. Is it C-A-L-C? Like that?
No, it's spelled out. Calculator is spelled out.
Oh, it's Calculator X. Okay. Calculator X with the iPhone. And if you got an Android, you can go to Wabbit, the same people that do my calculator on the Wabbit EMU for a, Wabbit, like that, Wascally Wabbit. Who says Wascally Wabbit? Okay, your parents are. Over fun. Guys running around shooting. Okay, so that's the way you can pull that up on your phone if you don't have a calculator. All right, so did everybody get 720? Now, what would 7 factorial be? Well, maybe 5040, I think. How did I get that so quick? I'm smart. No, you just take 7 and multiply by what? 720. 7 is 7. 7 times 7 is 49. Bring 1 from the 14. And that would be 5040. Somebody check.
Yes, 5040.
Okay, so 7 factorial is 5040. Now you could do 7 times 6 times 5 times, or you can say 7 times what? 6 factorial, or 7 times 720, and that will give you 5040, I believe. So you can either do it in your calculator, or you can say 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, or you can say, okay, 7 times 720 is 7 times 6 times 4. So you can do it that way. Now, the reason this is called counting is because it's using the numbers in their natural sequence. That's why this is called counting techniques. It's using the numbers in their natural sequence. And what this does, it lets us work with, let's say you have an alarm at your house. What activates the alarm? A what? A 4-digit key code, usually, right? Well, how many different key codes can you have? 1. Well, it depends on what they give you. And that's where you get, the one that works it, yes, after you pick it. But how many can you pick from? A lot. Well, 4 factorial is going to be what? 60? There's 60 different ones, but that's not what you're going to do. You have 4. This is how you do that. if you have 4 spaces to put numbers 0 through 9, then that's going to be 10 to the 4th power. Somebody take 10 to the 4th power, what do you get? Well, 10 times 10 is 100. 100 times 100. So you've got 10,000 different key codes. You ever seen Terminator?
Yeah.
Okay, remember the second Terminator where the kid's on the motorcycle and he takes that key card and he puts it in the ATM? What does that little computer he's got? What does it do? It narrows down the 4 digits, the 10,000 different codes down to what? 1 code. And he gets all the money. He gets $300 out of the ATM. Okay, so you know that's another form of counting because you're using a number to the exponent. Okay, this is a license plate question. Let me give you an example of a license plate question. You got 7 spaces on a license plate. That's how many? 5, 6, 7. Here's a license plate. If the numbers are 0 to 9, how many different license plates could it be? Well, that's 10 to the what? 7th power, because there's 7 spaces. So 10 to the 7th power, somebody did that in the calculator. It's a BA number, okay? It's like 100 million or something like that, or a trillion or something. Okay, so there's a trillion license plates that can be made. Now that's with exponents. How about this one? How about the word smile? How many? I hate to read it. Smile.
5.
That's how many letters?
5.
Okay. If I want to make different arrangements of that letter, then of that word, of course, none of them would make. Some of them would not make any sense. What could you do? Well, that would be 5 factorial. 5 factorial is what? What do we say 5 factorial was?
10 to the 5th.
120. So there's 120 different arrangements of the word smile. Now, does that mean all of them make sense? No. I said arrangements. I didn't say words. So 5 factorial, and that's equal to 120 different arrangements. What if I had 6 letters? Then that would be 720 arrangements because it's 6 factorial. So if you got a word, and you want to know the arrangements, it's 6 factorial, or however many letters factorial. Write that down for the word. Okay, word. Just say word, and then say number of letters factorial. Now, if you have spaces that you can fill with numbers, is the numbers always going to be 0 to 9? Yes. Why? Because you can't put 10 or 11 in one space. That's why. So it's always 0 to 9. So it's always going to be 10. That's 10 numbers. And then the exponent is going to be how many what? Spaces you have. So with license plates or alarm codes, if it's just asking you for numbers, not letters or anything, because that's a different animal. Okay? If it's just asking you for numbers, then it would be 10 to the spaces. So you would write alarm code, license plate, 10, and then in the exponent you put spaces. So it has 4 spaces, it would be 10 to 4. If it has 7 spaces, it would be 10 to the 7. If it had 12 spaces, it would be 10 to the 12. And then of course that first problem we did with the meals. Meals, number of appetizers times the number of plates times the number of desserts. That's pretty much simple. There's your 4 type questions right there. And that's just, we're not even doing permutations or combinations. And you can watch this video also in the 103. I've gone over this in the 103 and I loaded it onto y'all's. This, you might as well take advantage of it because after this test, the 103 class is going off in a different direction, so you're not going to have all these videos to take care of except the morning 120. But the 103, we're almost ready, like this class, to take a test. A permutation. And all you got to do, you don't have to write this whole thing, just say permutation is an ordered arrangement with order. Just put that. A permutation is an ordered arrangement with order. And highlight the word ordered, because that is the difference between a permutation and a what? A combination. A permutation has something to do with order. And beside order, after you highlight it, I want you to put in parentheses officers, first, second, or third. And that's enough. In other words, anything that depicts order in a situation. What's officers? Officers on a board. Or first, second, and third in a horse race. And those are two good standardized test questions. They always use the horses and the board of the officers on a board, like a board of education. Okay? A lot of people say, well, they have them on committees. No, you in a Southern Baptist church, if you have officers on a committee. Why are there so many officers on a committee in the Southern Baptist church? Because the Southern Baptist church has committees for everything. Okay? I grew up in a Southern Baptist church, still am a Southern Baptist, and it basically, if you wanted to paint the bathroom, there would be a committee formed on painting the bathroom in the Southern Baptist church. Okay? And then they said, the chairman of this committee. Well, committee actually does not have a chairman. Okay? But the Southern Baptist church kind of made it happen. Some of y'all that Southern Baptists, y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay? Dang old change the carpet in the sanctuary. Got to have a committee. Okay, some of y'all don't know what I'm talking about, but that's okay. All right, so what is the formula for a permutation? There it is. Write it down. You don't have to write that other stuff because I'm going to explain it to you, okay? Now, do you have to use this formula? No. Do you need to write it down and keep it in your notebook? Yes, because it could be on a standardized test. And the question will say, which formula is the formula for permutation? And they'll give you like 3 formulas and you pick the one. Don't ask me why, because everybody uses their calculator, and I tell you to use your calculator in this section. So I just tell people to write it down and highlight it, because it could show up on a standardized test, not on my test, but it could show up in your homework or standardized test as, what is this formula for? You know. So make sure you write it down. Now, what about the other stuff? Well, what if I always taught you since the first day of class in here, what's always the biggest number? What letter is always the biggest number?
The P?
No.
I mean, that sample.
N. N is always your biggest number. You're going with actual physical being large. Yeah. P is larger. But N is always your larger number. If you're given 2 numbers in a sentence, and the larger number is 6, then 6 is going to be N. If the smallest number is in the sentence is 2, then what's the only other letter that are there as far as numbers? The only numbers that you're going to have is N and R. So if N is your biggest number, what is R?
Smallest.
Okay, write that down. N is your biggest number, R is your smallest. What does the P stand for? Well, that means you're doing a dadgum permutation. Okay? What will the combination be? A big what? A big C. Okay? So the P here tells you that you're just doing, and I see where you're, Miss Jeter, I see you thinking that was the largest one out of the pipe. That's fine. A lot of people do that. I don't know how that just happened. I didn't touch it. So there is an example. And of course, it's a race. It's a horse race. You don't have to write down the whole thing. Just write this. Horse race. Trifecta. First, second, third. 10 horses. That's all you got to write down. What's the trifecta? First, second, what place?
Third.
First, second, third place. So, write down 10 horses. Trifecta. That's it. So what is, then you got 2 numbers up there. Give me the 2 numbers.
10 and 3.
10 and 3. Which one's largest?
10.
But 10 is N, 3 is R. Plug it in. Now, If you'll look, I'm going to show you this one thing, and I want you to write it down. Well, I really don't. Let me go to a 10 factorial over 7 factorial. I don't have anywhere to write, so I'm going to get out of here and go to the whiteboard. 10 factorial over 7 factorial. Look what actually happens. 10 factorial over 7 factorial. 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. 7 factorial is 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Well, what happens to all of that 7 factorial?
Cancel out.
Cancels out. So really, all you have to do is multiply those. Now, everybody in here should be able to multiply those 3 without a calculator. Okay, because y'all are adults. Y'all should be able, 10 times any number is, that number plus a 0. And then 9 times 8 is what?
72.
With a 0. So 720 is your answer. Now the combination works the same way, except the combination formula is a little bit, it's got one more thing in it, but it works the same way. I'm not going to show you this because really, you don't have to do the math. What do you have to do? You have to type it in your calculator. So everybody take your calculator, type in 10. I know it's 2 buttons, but I'm not going to write 2 buttons. I think everybody knows how to type in 10. All right, math. Probability, you got to move over to the right and go to probability. And then move down. Somebody give me the number.
4.
Number 4, and it should say NPR. And then type in 7. And somebody tell me, confirm you get 720.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 720 different arrangements of the first, second, and third place in that race. And that's what sets up the odds for the race. If you go to the trifecta. Can you gamble? Can you bet on the trifecta of a horse race? Yes. So they put basically 720 different trifectas up there, and you would pick 5 or 10. But what would happen if you won one? You would win a lot of what? Money. Because it's very hard to pick. It's very hard to pick the winner of a dadgum race, much less pick first, second, and third. Okay? We feel good? All right, let's go back to our handy-dandy question. And I think I erased it, but if I erased it, then it's no big deal. Yeah, I erased it. Oh well. No, I didn't write it on here. Okay, good. All right, so that's it, 720. Now you're going to do the same thing with the combination. If the permutation means order, then what do you think combination means?
Disorder.
Not disorder, but what's the opposite of order? No order. Okay? Good thinking. All right? So the opposite of order is no order. Chaos. Pandemonium. Right? Okay, nobody's going to talk to me.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate the interaction. I'm not going to go through, if you want to, hold on. I'm just going to let you see it. You don't have to write it down. There it is. A combination is a collection without what? Order. So just combination, order, and put a what through it? An X. No order. No order. What questions are these? Committees, arrangements of people, and of course, our old friend, the lottery. There is the formula. Again, I want you to write it down and highlight it, just in case you're asked a question on your homework, or if you're asked a question on a standardized test in the future for some of you nurses people. Here is the, and I'm going to get off here because I want to go to the lottery, okay? I don't like that question. So I'm going to take my handy dandy, go to the handy dandy Google, and we're going to type in South Carolina lottery. Now, I don't know how old some of y'all are, but the lottery's been around for, I don't know, 10 or 15 years. I really don't know. But I do remember when the lottery came to South Carolina, and everybody was worried about poor old South Carolina. New York, they were worried about us, and California was worried about us, and they made the trip. All them people made the trip down here to protest. Why? Now I just said California and New York, so you can't say the Bible Belt because California and New York's not in the Bible Belt. Okay, so why were these people worried about us here in South Carolina getting the lottery? Why didn't they want us to have the lottery? You're not going to take a guess at it? Because we are nothing but a bunch of dumb what? Dumb rednecks. That's why. We dumb. We stupid. And we're going to take our paycheck and we're going to give it to the convenience store. That's really what they were thinking. Okay? Because what is South Carolina? We're right behind Mississippi and everything, right? We're a bunch of dummies. Okay? And I'll show you in just a minute why. Because right at the beginning of the lottery, does anybody know what was in convenience stores and all across South Carolina? Those video poker machines. Now you're talking about the crack cocaine of gambling industry. Okay? There would be, you'd go down to Eddie's Mini Mart and there'd be like 15 of those things. And there'd be a line of people playing them. Kids running around with their diapers on, starving to death. I'm serious. Out in the parking lot in the car with 100-degree weather. If y'all don't think I'm kidding, I'm not kidding. And that's why another thing, California came down here, New York, y'all don't do the lottery, y'all gonna have people dying in South Carolina because y'all are ignorant. Okay? That's what they were saying. All right? But we got it. And there it is. Write it down. Write down that first sentence because that's what you're gonna see. Now I'm gonna show you in a minute what I'm talking about. There's a reason I'm talking about the dumb ignorant thing. There's a reason. And I'm gonna show you in just a second. It says that you gotta pick 5 numbers from 1 to what?
69.
69. And then 1 to what? 1 to 26. And now y'all gonna write that down and you're just gonna sit there and stare at it, right? Yeah, because you don't know what to do. I would say, I really don't know. You'd have to look it up. Somebody'd have to Google when the lottery came to South Carolina. I can't remember. Google it right quick, Mr. Poor. I had the 120 class this morning Google Matt Foley in a van down by the river because they didn't know who that was. It's their parents' fault. When did it come to South Carolina? So. All right, now.
Okay.
When did it come to South Carolina?
It's South Carolina Education Lottery, right?
Yeah, when did it come?
2002.
2002. In 2001, people were playing those God-blessed crack machines, okay? And I'm kidding. And then they couldn't get rid of them. All right, we outlawed them. Then what did store owners do? They put them back in the freezer. Back in the freezer and in the back rooms, and people were still playing. They were hooked on it. Anyway, to make a long story short, how do you play the lottery? You can't win if you don't what? Play. So at least you got to buy 1 ticket. Now let's talk about this ticket. What's a ticket? Is that a French ticket? Ticket. They're gonna charge that. Ticket. You got to buy 1 ticket. Now let me talk about this for a minute because a lot of these standardized tests and a lot of your tests are not written by educators. Okay, they're written by people that just write questions, okay? And they will not put the ticket in there, and they will not put winning, okay? There's a little, and I'm very open with this on the test because some of the test questions are not written correctly. If it says winning, then it's assuming that you're buying a what?
A ticket.
But it doesn't tell you you're buying a ticket. It just says winning. What is your probability of winning? You can't win if you don't buy a ticket. So you have to put the 1 over your probability. You see what I'm saying? Some questions will say, what is the probability? Well, is the probability meaning that you're buying a ticket or not? Some of the questions are very vague. So the reason I'm telling you this is look for the questions on the lottery and read them really careful so that way when you do have a standardized test, especially some of you nursing people, when you do have a standardized test, you can catch it. Okay? The reason I can't tell you is because I teach the 103 and the 120, and I can't remember which one it is. The 120 book really sucks. I mean, the 103 book really sucks, so I think it's that one. But this one I think is pretty good. So it'll have, what is the probability of winning? When it says winning, it's assuming that you at least bought 1 ticket. Other than that, it'll say you bought 10 tickets, or you bought 18 tickets, or you bought 1,000 tickets. Okay, so be on the watch for that type of question. Everybody with me? Now, how do you do the probability? Well, the probability is going to be, and I'm just going to show you, because most of your lotteries have one section and then they have a power what? Some kind of Powerball. The Mega Million is called not a Powerball, it's called a Mega Ball. Okay? Whatever. So you're going to have 2 probabilities down here. They're going to be combinations because on the lottery you don't have to have what? You don't have to have them in order. Heck, gum, it's hot in here. I've got a sweater on. Which one is it? Is it hot in here to y'all?
No.
Oh! I'm going to pass out. All right, so C and C. And this one's easy because the second one is going to be 20, is it 26? 26 combination of 1. Well, there's only one way that you can have those 26 in one combination. That's 26 different ways. So that's 26. But this one is going to be what? 69 combination what? 5. So I want y'all to do that one. Meanwhile, I'm going to pull up the handy-dandy Excel spreadsheet. I'm going to show you something. Show you a trick I learned in the war. this is no joke. I actually had a student come up to me one time and say, "What war were you in that you learned so many tricks in?" That's about like my neighbor. I had a neighbor. This is no joke. I think I told y'all this in your class. I had a neighbor. She had a daughter in like the junior high or whatever when you start using the calculator. Y'all know when that is, okay? She calls me up furious. "You need to come up here." She just she's mad. And I said, "Okay, I'll be there in a minute." So I go up the road and I go in and, "You need to show me how to use this calculator." I said, "Okay, what are you doing?" She says, "We've been doing this problem 15 minutes and the calculator keeps putting out the wrong answer." I said, "Okay, well, what is the question?" She showed me the question. It was 1 to the 29th power. Everybody got it?
Yeah.
How do you tell your neighbor that she don't know simple math? Anyway, I tried to play it off like, "Oh, it's very confusing to some people." But the calculator was right.
What'd you say?
She just looked at me. I think she was a little bit embarrassed. I didn't call her, I didn't say she was a loser or anything. I just, 1 to the 29th power is what? 1. The calculator was right. Okay, so don't be like that. I have no idea why I'm talking about that. But anyway, I'm going to go to the handy-dandy spreadsheet. What was I talking about that? Okay, nobody's going to tell me.
Said you gonna tell a story.
Hmm?
And then the war.
Oh, yeah, that student coming up. What war were you in?
What did you say?
I didn't say nothing. I said handout. Tells you what war I was in. Okay, I can't find my cursor. Where is my cursor? Like I said, it's a conspiracy. All right, I'm going to show you this. And this is just something I show you. You don't have to write it down. It's just something that I do for students. I do it for all my probability students. Let's take this and move this down. And let's make it where everybody can see it, maybe 20. All right, let's buy one ticket. Well, let me skip a couple of lines. Let me make this. And move this over. Y'all just bear with me a second. Okay, one ticket, 5 tickets, 100 tickets, 500 tickets, 1,000 tickets, 5,000, 10,000 tickets, 25,000 tickets, 5,000 or 50,000 tickets, 100,000 tickets, 250,000 tickets, oops, 500,000 tickets, 750,000 tickets, and what? 1 million tickets, 1.5 million tickets, 2 million tickets. Okay, and I'm going to move this out of the way. Let me get rid of this. Are y'all paying attention? I hope y'all paying attention. All right. Now you can also do this in the, write this down, you can do this in the spreadsheet. It's called CumBin. All right, equals, COM, it'll pop in. As soon as you type in, there it is, the first one, CumBin. Oops, you're supposed to hit it with the mouse, Hubert. Equals CumBin. I'm just going to go ahead and hit parentheses. Oops, wrong one. And I'm going to do, what is it, 60, is it 69 combination 5? What was that? No yawning in class. All right, so there's that one. And the other one's going to be equal 26, but I'm going to make these bigger. There we go. And the other one is equals CumBin. Now what is it with permutation? It's permute. Write that down, permute, end in T. P-E-R-M-U-T. And you would just type in parentheses 26, comma 1. Everybody with me? Yeah. So there's your denominator. So now I'm going to take my handy dandy spreadsheet, and I'm going to hit this divided by parentheses this guy, F4, times this guy, F4, close parenthesis, enter, and then I'm going to change that to a decimal. Oh my Lord. How do you get out? Just, maybe that'll take care of it. All right, so I'm going to change this to, no, I guess not. I'm going to change this to format cells. I'm going to change it to 10 decimal points. Oh, heck, let's go to 15. Everybody with me? That's the number you should have got. Y'all check it in your calculator. Now, since we're all dumb, racist Southerners, okay, and we ain't got no sense, and we ain't got a sense enough about lottery tickets, somebody tell me who's smarter, the guy that buys one lottery ticket or the guy that buys 1 million? Well, let me do this first. Let me change it to percentages. Miss Jeter, we're going to change it to percentages. You like percentages, yes. So let's change it to percentages. Which one's smarter? The guy that buys 1 ticket or the guy that buys 1 million? One. Because he has the same, or he or she has the same amount of probability to win than 1 million. And first of all, I want to ask you a question. If you got $1 million to spend on lottery tickets, why are you playing the daggum lottery? Okay? So, that's a little bit of instruction for you. Now, how many tickets do I buy? I always buy 10 tickets. Why? Because that's a good even number. Sometimes I'll buy 5 tickets with the Powerball, and sometimes I'll buy 5 tickets with the Mega Million. Why do I do it? Because I play it for fun. Okay? My kids, they have clothes, they have all their teeth in their head, they have running water at home, they have electricity. So, I'm not depriving my kids of anything by buying $10 worth of lottery tickets. Okay?
They have teeth in their head?
Yeah, meaning they've got a good dentist, they have toothpaste,
That's awesome.
Okay? Okay, because a lot of people say, well, them South Carolinians, you can't let them have the lottery because their kids will be running. No, that was on the crack cocaine. That was when we had the poker, poker machines. Them things were terrible. But when you go buy a lottery ticket, you only need to buy what? One. Unless you're going to buy 1.5 million or 2 million. Now, if you're going to buy 2 million, you raise your stakes up 1%. You'd be surprised on how many people. Now, I go in there at the Shell station at 24, right there at the Bilo. That's where I go, okay? And I go in there, and I'll watch people because I love to watch people, okay? And I'll sit in there, and I'll be acting like I'm doing something and I'll just watch them. I'm going to win this lottery. That old Bubba comes in. I want to give me 100 tickets. And I just sit over there and laugh because he just threw away what? But $2 is a whole lot different from $100. So don't buy more than 10, okay? Because it's not going to do anything. Just buy one.
So for the one, that's if we bought one ticket.
That's the probability that you'll win.
All the bigger numbers are if we bought more tickets.
Yeah,
So
they're still 0. Now, the decimals are different. Now, if you turn it back into decimals, I don't think I can. Can I hit decimals, or where'd the percentage go? I don't think that'll work. No. What? Oh yeah, I can hit. That is the best button in the computer world right there is undo. There we go. See, the decimals are different. The mathematics is different. Yes, they all have different numbers. But what do we round to when it comes to the real world? We round to the 100th decimal point. The second decimal point. We round, that's where we round. So if you round them to 2 decimal places, it's 0 all the way down to 1 million. Yes, ma'am.
Now, before that, did you divide the 112 by 26?
The 112? No, you multiply these two. Yeah, let me draw it up here for you. The actual formula for lottery is the number of tickets that you buy over I'm going to just use this as an example, 69 combination 5 times 26 combination 1. And that's where I got that number right there. Now somebody give me the fraction. It's 1 over what?
292,201,338.
201,000 what?
338.
338. Well, let's check to see if we know what we're doing. Because we're just a bunch of dumb Southerners. Let's see if we know what we're doing, okay? So let's go back to the handy dandy, what's it called? The internet.
292.
What other class are you in with me, Mr. Poor? Yeah. You giving me the wrong answers. So now you're going to fail both classes. All right, so let me go back and hit let's look at odds. Where's the odds? Odds. To win the lottery, what is the odds in winning the lottery? 292,201,337. Okay, you must have rounded incorrectly. All right. From now on, everybody else answers me except for Mr. Poland, because he likes to set me up for failure, so y'all can make fun of me. All right, now for the second one, we're going to go to the Mega Million, and I'm going to let y'all do that one. And that way, you'll have 2 questions in your notebook, in your handy-dandy notebook. All right, y'all do that one. And if you can't do it, just write it down as what? Living in a van down by the river. I live in a van down by the river. My daughter's supposed to be cooking supper tonight, so I haven't got a phone call from the fire department yet. I said, Ellie Mae, you gonna cook tonight? And she said, who's Ellie Mae?
What's she cooking?
She's cooking zucchini lasagna.
Is that good?
Yeah, it's good if you make it right. If you don't cut the dadgum zucchinis thin enough, it sucks. Because I made it one time and I didn't cut them thin enough and it really sucked. So the second time I cooked it, it was a whole lot better. Uh-oh.
Are we just selecting one ticket?
Huh?
Are we?
Yeah, just do one ticket. Something went wrong. She just sent me a text that says, get some tortilla chips on the way home. So I'm pretty sure that the zucchini didn't work out. So what she's left with is a big bowl of dip. Get some tortilla chips on the way home. I'm going to put, uh-oh. No, row-row. Is that what he says? Row-row. Y'all know who says that?
Scooby-Doo.
Now, how do y'all know Scooby-Doo, but you don't know the dadgum Roadrunner? Oh, y'all do? Okay, y'all just don't say anything. Okay. I can't hear you when you say anything. Oh, I got a phone call. I got to tell y'all this. Got a phone call, left a voicemail on my voicemail because it comes to my email. One, this was yesterday. The first one, this is no joke. I sent it downstairs. I forwarded it to the secretary downstairs. I said, could you decipher this for me? We deleted it because she listened to it like 5 times and she couldn't. And then the second one, this was a funny one. I sent the second one to my boss. I said, this is the phone calls I get. Yes, sir. I paid my water bill last month, and I still hadn't got water turned on. Can you tell me why I ain't got my water turned on? Why do I get these people? So I'm thinking that the first one was the guy waking up, and the second one was after he had something to eat and something to drink.
It was the same number?
Yeah, I don't know, because it doesn't give us the number when it sends it to the email. It doesn't. It just gives us the email. It doesn't give us. So we have to go into our phone and I didn't even do it. I just forwarded it down to them. I told the secretary downstairs. I said, if y'all can figure these 2 out, please write it down and let me know. And they just deleted both of them. All right, so what'd y'all get? Let's see. 70, is it 75 and 25 1? So let's go back to our handy-dandy spreadsheet. And I'm going to change this to 70 and this to 25. And somebody tell me what you got as far as a fraction for this one. What you get? 1 for that one. 1 over,
After you multiply?
yeah, what, I want to know the bottom. What'd you get for the bottom?
302 million.
I heard 300. What'd you get? 300, what?
302. 575. 380.
Okay, did everybody get that? Because I don't trust Mr. Ford. Okay, thank you. All right, now let's go back to the Mega Million and see what the odds are. And again, who's smarter? 1 ticket or a million? 1. So let's go back and look and see you can still buy diapers for your children if you just buy 1 ticket. Odds. Well, that's the Powerball. Where is it? There it is. 302,575,349. They're rounding up and down. I don't know how they're rounding, but we get the same answer. Okay? So now you can figure the odds on the lottery ticket.
What's the other number?
What's up? Okay. Hold on a minute.
It says from 36 and 37.
There it is. 300.
that's it.
Oh,
Yeah.
first bookie. What are they doing?
They're done. So they got it.
We keep doing 36 and 37.
We got 350.
Okay, well, that's that one.
So I was right.
Okay. I don't know what they're doing. But anyway, that's how you do it. Now, I don't know what the Lucky for Life is. I think you get a check for the rest of your life or something like that. I don't know. I never played that. I just play these two. You know, I'm satisfied with 2 or 3 million. I'm not going to be greedy, you know. They always ask me, you going to double it? No, I'm fine. If I win $205 million, I'm not going to want 400 million. Actually, that don't count. The double up, it don't count on the big prize. So you can't win double. All right, who's got questions on the lottery? All right, now, let me cut off the do-jigger. I don't know what time it is.
6:40.
Okay, we good. All right, let me cut off the handy-dandy. Now, that don't mean y'all run off, Miss Sullivan, Miss Harbin. Don't be running off. All right.